a policeman catches a man with some weed in his pocket. "You're going to jail for all that marijuana in your pocket," the policeman stated. "But officer, this weed isn't mine. It keeps appearing in my pocket every time I flush it down the toilet," the man replied. "Oh, really? This I gotta see. If you can prove it, you're free to go," the policeman challenged. The man takes all the marijuana out of his pocket and puts it in the toilet. He then pulls the handle and watches it go down the drain. Several minutes go by and nothing happens. "Well, why hasn't the weed appeared in your pocket?" the policeman asked. The man looked at him and asked, "What weed?" A young newlywed couple was planning their future together, and soon they realized they wanted to join a church. They went to their local church and asked how to join and take part in church life. The pastor told them, "We have special requirements for new parishioners. You must abstain from having sex for 2 weeks to show you are serious about your faith." The couple agreed and came back at the end of 2 weeks. The pastor asked them, "Well, were you able to get through the 2 weeks without being intimate?" "Pastor, I'm afraid we were not able to go without sex for the 2 weeks," the young man replied. "What happened?" inquired the pastor. "My wife was reaching for a can of corn on the top shelf and dropped it. She bent over to pick it up. I was overcome with lust, lifted her skirt, pulled down her panties, and took her right then and there." "You understand, of course, that this means you will not be welcome in our church," stated the pastor. "I understand," said the young man. "We're not welcome at the grocery store anymore either." A wife was in bed with her lover when she heard her husband's key in the door. "Stay where you are," she said. "He's so drunk, he won't even notice you're in bed with me." The husband lurched into bed, but a few minutes later, through a drunken haze, he saw 6 feet sticking out from the end of the bed. He turned to his wife. "Hey, there is 6 feet in this bed. There should only be 4. What's going on?" "You're so drunk you miscounted," said the wife. "Get out of bed and try again. You can see better from over there." The husband climbed out of bed and counted 1, 2, 3, 4. "Damn, you're right." A man and his wife are discussing what they think their son will be when he grows up. "I have an idea," says the father. He puts a $10 bill, a bottle of whiskey, and a Bible on the coffee table. "If he takes the money, he'll be a banker. If he takes the whiskey, he'll be a wino. If he takes the Bible, that means he'll be a preacher." So the man and his wife hide just before their son comes in the door and watch from where they're hiding. The boy saunters over to the coffee table. He picks up the $10 bill, looks at it, then sets it down. He picks up the bottle of whiskey, uncorks it, sniffs it, then sets it down. He picks up the Bible, leads through it, and sets it down. Then the boy takes the money, stuffs it into his pocket, grabs the whiskey, and walks off with the Bible under his arm. "Well, how do you like that?" exclaims the father. "He's going to be a politician." Arthur is 75 years old and played golf every day since his retirement 15 years ago. One day he arrives home looking downcast. "That's it," he tells his wife. "I'm giving up golf. My eyesight has become so bad that once I hit the ball, I couldn't see where it went." His wife sympathizes and makes him a cup of tea. As they sit down, she says, "Why don't you take my brother with you and give it one more try?" "That's no good," sighs Arthur. "Your brother's 85. He can't help." "He may be 85, says the wife, "but his eyesight is perfect." The next day, Arthur heads off to the golf course with his brother-in-law. He tees up, takes a mighty swing, and squints down the fairway. He turns to his brother-in-law and says, "Did you see the ball?" "Course I did," answers the brother-in-law. "I have perfect eyesight." "Where did it go?" Arthur asks. "I don't remember." The doctor and his wife were playing golf at the club. On the first tee, she drove a 300-yard tee shot straight down the fairway. The doctor said, "Wow, I've never seen you play this well before." Marie says, "I took lessons." A couple of days later on the tennis court in mixed doubles, she smashes her serves and never misses a point. The doctor said, "Wow, I've never seen you hit so well before." Marie says, "I took lessons." On the weekend, they settled into a nice dinner at home. Marie brings out 2 perfect plates of beef Wellington, and the doctor says, "Wow, I've never seen you cook like this before." She says, "I took lessons." After dinner, she gives him that look, and they go upstairs. About 30 minutes later, the doctor rolls over and says, "Wow, that was incredible, amazing, so hot." Before Marie can speak, he adds, "I want a divorce." A good old Alabama boy won a bass boat in a raffle drawing. He brought it home and his wife looks at him and says, "What are you gonna do with that? There ain't no water deep enough to float a boat within 100 miles of here." He says, "I want it and I'm gonna keep it." His brother came over to visit several days later. He sees the wife and asks where his brother is. She says, "He's out there in his bass boat," pointing to the field behind the house. The brother heads out behind the house and sees his brother in the middle of a big field, sitting in a bass boat with the fishing rod in his hand. He yells out to him, "What are you doing?" His brother replies, "I'm fishing. What does it look like I'm a-doing?" His brother yells, "It's people like you that give people from Alabama a bad name, making everybody think we're stupid. If I could swim, I'd come out there and whip your ass." A Roman Catholic priest is on his way home to Rome when he runs into an old childhood friend. "My goodness, Mary," he says, "how have you been?" "Oh, could be better," she says. "My husband Robert and I have been trying to have children for 15 years, but we are barren." "I am so sorry," says the priest. "I'm on a pilgrimage to Rome, and I promise to light a candle for you in the great cathedral." Mary thanks him, and after chatting a little longer, they part ways. 5 years later, the priest is eating dinner when there's a knock at his door. He opens it, and to his surprise, it's Mary's husband Robert. "I'm so glad I found you," he exclaims. "Remember that candle you lit for Mary years ago? Well, Mary and I now have 2 sets of twins, and a set of twins and a set of triplets, and I just found out that she's pregnant with quadruplets." Robert then hands the priest an all-expenses paid ticket to Rome. "Oh my, Robert, your joy is my joy. You didn't need to give me a thank you gift." "Oh no, it's not a thank you gift," says Robert. "It's so you can blow out that damn candle." A few minutes before the services started, the townspeople were sitting in their pews and talking. Suddenly, Satan appeared at the front of the church. Everyone started screaming and running for the front entrance, trampling each other in a frantic effort to get away from evil incarnate. Soon, everyone had exited the church except for one elderly gentleman who sat calmly in his pew without moving, seemingly oblivious to the fact that God's ultimate enemy was in his presence. So Satan walked up to the old man and said, "Don't you know who I am?" The man replied, "Yep, sure do." "Aren't you frightened?" asked Satan. "Nope, sure ain't," said the man. "Don't you realize I can kill you with a word?" asked Satan. "Don't doubt it for a minute," returned the old man in an even tone. "Did you know that I caused you profound, horrifying physical agony for all eternity?" persisted Satan. "Yep," was the calm reply. "And you're still not afraid?" asked Satan. "Nope." More than a little perturbed, Satan asked, "Well, why aren't you afraid of me?" The man calmly replied, "Been married to your sister for over 48 years. There was a man who worked for the post office, whose job was to process all the mail that had illegible addresses. One day, a letter came addressed in shaky handwriting to God with no address. He thought he should open it to see what it was about. The letter read, "Dear God, I am an 83-year-old widow living on a very small pension. Yesterday, someone stole my purse. It had $100 in it, which was all the money I had until my next pension check. Next Sunday is Christmas, and I invited 2 of my friends over for dinner. Without all that money, I have nothing to buy food with. I have no family to turn to, and you're my only hope. Can you please help me? Sincerely, Edna." The postal worker was touched. He showed the letter to all the other workers. Each one dug into their wallet and came up with a few dollars. By the time he made the rounds, he collected $96, which they put into an envelope and sent to the woman. The rest of the day, all the workers felt a warm glow, thinking about Edna and the dinner she would be able to share with her friends. Christmas came and went. A few days later, another letter came from the same old lady to God. All the workers gathered around while the letter was opened. It read, "Dear God, how can I ever thank you enough for what you did for me? Because of your gift of love, I was able to fix a glorious dinner for my friends. We had a very nice day and told my friends of your wonderful gift. P.S. There was $4 missing. I think it must have been those thieving scoundrels at the post office."